You can have second point focus through your five senses where you're focused primarily your awareness on the second point. But the deeper focus is actually when you're in mind, because your awareness isn't spread out. Remember, all perception actually happens in the mind. The term sense perception, which is actually perceiving through the senses, and then there's also perceiving through the mind. The mind is a much more pure perception. The purest focus is one that is not distracted. And see, a lot of times, the more that your awareness spreads out to the second point, the more distracted you become. So the more that you are at primary point when you're observing the world. One, you're going out to the point of focus. The other, you're letting the point of focus come to you. So when everything is coming to you, it's more pure than when you're going to it, away from yourself. If you see what I mean. In surfing analogy, you can really look at as your best surfing when you're thinking about your surfing ahead, or when you're feeling you're surfing right where you are. It's always feeling right where you are, right? Mm-hmm. Because even all of your best turns and everything are something that you feel, not when you're, like the difference between thinking about a turn ahead versus feeling the turn you're in. It's more, as surfers would call it, it's more soulful. And, the power, from being a power surfer is centered in your soul, not your intellectual process.
Okay. Is that what they mean by let life come to you? There's that saying, let life come to you?
Yeah, that's a very true statement, but whether or not it comes to you through your senses or it comes to you through your mind is very different. Because when energy from the outside world comes to your senses, it splits 5 ways. When it comes to the mind, it comes through one point.
Yes, okay.
So, but you can get to a place in your mind where you can allow your mind to open up your senses without splitting them. And that's ultimately what you want to be able to do, so that you're not focusing on whether or not you're seeing more, hearing more, touching more, so you're not separating your senses. Because a lot of people do that with their senses. They put more energy into their sight. Some people put more energy into their hearing. Some people put more energy into their touch. And they pride themselves on that particular thing as being better because that's a point of focus. In the mind, when you're perceiving from mind, it doesn't create a separation from all that, so it just lets it all come in to one point. And that's where you feel a lot more, and you feel much more centered.
Okay, that clarifies a lot.
So it's better to, instead of focusing on 5 different things at once, it's better to focus on one thing and 5 things within it. That's when you let the 5 senses come to you as one, instead of going out and splitting your awareness into the different parts of your 5 senses.
Yeah.
Or even that's to spread out into the world.